Welcome back to the channel. We recently reached 70,000 subscribers and 1,000 paying members, and I promised you that I would do a video to answer any personal questions you have. I also added a post on the community page of the channel where you left some questions, and actually I'm in the best place to be doing this video because I'm back home where it all started. So you may be able to recognize this background. This is the same background I used for my very first video back in January 2018. I only have one light source, that is a normal lamp that we use in this room, and I didn't have a microphone. Now I just added this microphone, but back then there was no microphone and I had only my phone. That was a Samsung Note 5 at the time. Now I'm using an iPhone, which is much better than the Samsung, of course, but it did the job. And then the video is actually more like this. So you may be able to recognize this setup. And this is it. I started explaining videos about SAP. So the first video was in Arabic, and it was about what is the meaning of an SAP consultant and how you can start to become one. And then it all went from there. So I started making videos twice a week or 3 times a week, and then it went to once a week. And I have been doing the videos since then. So now we are up to 6 years. And this is actually what I tell anyone who asks me how to start a YouTube channel and what is the setup I use and so on to explain SAP topics. You don't need a setup. All you need is your phone, an idea, and you just sit anywhere at your home and start recording. Nobody cares really about the background. As you see, this is really a very bad background for recording a video. I didn't have these also, so it was only this monocolors. You see a lot of brown with some blue, and they also had a blue shirt. So you don't really need anything. You just need the idea and your phone, and you can start. And this takes us actually to the first question I received. It is a very common question. Why did I start recording YouTube videos? So let's say there are many factors that actually led to this moment to record the videos, but the main factor was fear. I think fear is behind anything big that we do in our lives. So back in 2018, I started freelancing as an SAP consultant in 2015. And the first customer I got through a project that I did with a company, and then the customer contacted me to do another project on freelance. So the first customer I didn't really sell myself. It just came to me. And this is actually how it normally happens for the first customer usually. So I started working with them for 3 years. I ended working with them in 2018. They didn't have any other projects at the time. And then I found myself without a project. And I was afraid that I would have to go back and work as an employee in one of the consulting companies because it was a different life. So freelancing pays much more. Work-life balance is better. I had a good client that I worked for the last 3 years. So I was actually very worried that I wouldn't be able to sell another project. And then this fear is actually what really motivated me to accept any idea to find another customer. So the idea, it came actually from the videos that I found about the CMA certificate. So back then in 2018, I had some time, so I decided to take a certificate in accounting, and I applied for the CMA certificate. And when I wanted to study CMA, I found a lot of videos on YouTube done by mainly 2 or 3 instructors that are in Egypt. And I used these videos to learn CMA. And then at the time I said, why don't I create something like this? Because it was a really huge value that I learned a lot of things from them. So I said, okay, why don't I do something like this? And then there is also my wife that motivated me to start. I have to mention this. So it wasn't entirely my idea, but the idea came from the CME videos, and the motivation came from the fear and also from my wife that really said, why don't you do it? And then one day, without any preparation, I just put my phone like this with this same background, and I started talking about becoming an SAP consultant and what is the meaning of SAP consultants. And anyone can do the same video. So you see, the idea is not really, I'm not talking about rocket science. Anyone who wants to start creating videos about YouTube, start with something simple. So you can also, even you are watching me now, you can start with a video like this. What is the meaning of an SAP consultant from your point of view? And trust me, there are viewers for everyone. So if you create a video today saying what is an SAP consultant, you will get views exactly the same as I did get some views, as others get good views before. It never ends. So just create the video. No one would say, this has been created before. The internet is huge. There's a lot of content, and everyone will get viewers. So just start recording if you want to do so. So back to the question of the main motivation behind creating these videos, it's actually fear. So I am sure that if at the time I had a decent job at one of the SAP consulting firms or at an SAP customer, I wouldn't have created any videos and I wouldn't be here today. So fear is the best motivator always. I hope you never get to a very desperate situation where you really have to accept everything that you get. But once you get there, fear can actually help you do amazing things. So this is for the first question that I received. Now for the second question, let me first show you the second background that I used. So after I started creating videos in Arabic for a while, I decided to actually switch my background to this. So you may be able to also remember this. So I have my YouTube channel logo here, the banner. So I created this, I think, 1 year after I started. And I would be standing here like this and explaining things with this in the background. So this is the second layout I had. And it's still the same room, the same lighting and everything. I then started testing with different lighting options, but they all went very bad. So you can even remember one of the most viewed videos I have on the channel, the GRIR video for goods receipt, invoice receipt. It has a very, very bad lighting. And the video has more than 200,000 views, I think, today. It's the most viewed videos on the channel. And it really has a very bad lighting. It has a bad audio, but people are still watching this until today, although the video has been there for around 5 years. So this is again another proof that you don't really need amazing setup to start. All you need is just your phone, the idea, and you can start. And people would watch because we are doing educative content. So I'm explaining ideas, I'm explaining information. We're not doing something for fun, like doing a sketch, a cinematic sketch or something. And people watch the videos to learn. So even if there is a bad setup, it doesn't really impact a lot the views, but you need good audio. So good audio is something that you must have. If people struggle to hear what you are saying, no one is going to watch the videos because it is hard enough to understand the information. You don't want the viewers to be struggling to hear what you are saying. Now to the second question I received, do I recommend the CMA certificate, Certified Managerial Accountant, to SAP Finance Consultant? And how does it impact the career of an SAP Finance Consultant? So let me tell you about my experience. Anything that you see on this channel that is talking about product costing, so the product costing playlist, which is the most viewed playlist on the channel, is actually coming from CMA. Before doing the CMA, I was never able to understand product costing clearly, even though at the time I had already done some SAP implementation projects for product costing, but I was never able to clearly understand the concepts to be able to explain them the way I did on the channel. So anything that you see here is actually thanks to the CMA. So I do recommend getting a CMA, and just to be honest, I actually didn't pass or didn't apply for the 2 parts of the CMA. I only did 1 part, which is the first one that talks about budgeting and product costing. But the second part of the CMA that's talking about financial analysis, I actually never studied and never even applied for the exam because it didn't really interest me enough. If you are looking for the thing that will really help you as an SAP Finance and Controlling consultant, then it is part 1 of the CMA. And you don't really need to go after the certificate. You can do a self-study of this part 1. It will explain a lot of things that you are not able to understand from the SAP documentation because it talks about the business side of things. And then it will help you a lot. The second thing it helped me with is I have used a lot the line of I passed the first part of the CMA with my SAP customers. So whenever I talk to a customer that's coming from an accounting background, I say I passed a part of the CMA, and also I always say that I'm an accountant from an accounting background. And this helps a lot in breaking the ice and easing the conversation with people who come from an accounting background. Because as an SAP finance consultant, when you don't have an accounting background, the person that's working with you knows that he is going to struggle in explaining the concepts. So you really need to prove that you have some accounting knowledge. Even if you are not someone who graduated from an accounting school, you still can do some courses, but you need to prove to the accountants you are working with that you have the needed accounting knowledge and that they are not going to struggle in explaining the accounting basics to you, because you are there to help them apply SAP to their process. You are not there to ask them to teach you accounting, right? So it makes sense. So I'm not against anyone who doesn't have an accounting background, because I receive this question a lot. I'm an engineer, or I come from a non-accounting background and I want to be an SAP finance consultant. This is completely normal, but you need to study the accounting principles. You cannot just go to your customers without good knowledge in accounting and expect to learn on the way, because accounting is like a foreign language. So we have debits, credits, accounting statements, and so on. These things you really need to know by heart before you start talking accounting with anyone. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to understand each other. This is it for this video. I'm not going to make it any longer. Let me know if you like these videos, and if you have any other questions to me, I would be happy to create another video like this one to answer your questions. I am currently on vacation, so I don't think I would be creating any other technical videos for the coming month. So the only kind of videos I can do is something like this, where we talk together. So let me know if you have any ideas for videos that I can record during this period. I also want to thank you a lot for following the channel so far and supporting the content. I especially want to thank everyone who joined the channel membership program. So today we have 1,000 paying members, and you are one of the main reasons why the channel is here today. So thanks a lot for your support. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share the video with your connections, check the channel membership program if you would like to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.